Hi friends, Phil here at the park again. It's a nice day, it's a cool day, and I just wanted to talk about some very important issues. You know, I've been getting a lot of emails from guys in different parts of the world when they like the types of videos that talk about career choices and how to, you know, navigate our wonderful life as drummers. So I thought I'd make this video because it's a very important topic and very interesting. So the issue is the chasm between players that are doing actual work and the ones that get, let's say, pushed by our industry, okay, drum companies or whatever, guys that are famous online only and never really play anywhere. This is such an important topic, I think, because it gives you a fake impression of what you need to know as a drummer, right? I think the biggest distinction I can make in these cases is that the drummers that don't play anywhere with anyone are not really doing music, right? They're not really great at playing music, so it's a problem, you know. The chasm exists because I think a lot of the times these guys are not able to function in musical situations. You know, if you don't play big band, if you don't play jazz, if you don't play Latin, if you don't play you know, whatever, Seftatelli or Sirto or a great variety of styles that are in drumming, why make a video about it and make yourself look stupid, you know, for views? This is a really something you have to adjust your mind to, I think, because what ends up happening is you get conned. Really, you get lied to is what's happening, unfortunately. And what people, especially in different countries, you know, think they need to know are endless paradiddle variations and things that are completely not musically related. While, you know, the things that you really need to play music are completely ignored. You know, I called the paradiddles and rudiments and tricks with your left foot and your right foot in between stick flipping in your hair, and I call that the low-hanging fruit of drumming. Why? Because anybody can teach you that. You know, it's like nothing. You can learn that in a few months. But to play music is a whole other story. To learn how to play music and to teach how to play music, man, that is a whole other story. It's a whole other set of skills, and those are things that you need as a musician. And in our world of drumming, you know, this low-hanging fruit takes priority, it seems, over those things because of money, you know, which is an incredible pity to me that folks are getting robbed of the opportunity for great expression, you know, the great meaning, the great depth of drumming. When you only are exposed to low-hanging fruit, it robs you of the opportunity to play and understand music and understand drumming at a really super deep level, you know. So out in the park again. It's an overcast day. I actually like it like this, not so burning hot. So, you know, you should be aware when you're studying. You should be aware of what you're studying, what you're putting your time into. And it's funny to relate this to like kind of business, but in the end, if you want to make money from drums, if you want to live from drums, you have to acquire marketable skills that are used in a wide portion of the music market, okay? Now, if you only concentrate on paradiddles and flippity flam scooping jive. You know, those things take a lot of time to acquire, and their use is super limited, right? Another thing is nobody cares. Nobody in the music, no musician cares if you can do, you know, finger control at 300 BPM and play singles at 500 BPM. Nobody cares. What they do care about is your ability to function in music on the drums, you know. So as you can see, that's the chasm I'm talking about, and it's super important because it keeps people out of the game of music, out of the joy of being able to play and function in music. Here we're at the field, okay? A little analogy for you. If you want to be in the game, you gotta be a musician, baby. You can't like be a drummer, you know. And there's this meme that's floating around right now where the girl says, "I'm in love with him. I'm gonna marry this guy, and he's a drummer." And the father or whoever it is goes, "He's not even a musician. It just makes noise," you know. Unfortunately, there's a bit of truth to that. Why do you think it's such a cultural thing that people say that? It's because there's a lack of understanding of what the role of drums is. You know, it's been there for quite a while now, and we have to be super aware of that in order to debunk, first of all, to debunk this thing. I don't care what other people say, you know, but there's this myth or whatever for a reason, okay? Is that a lot of times the low-hanging fruit is what gets sold to drummers. We've always all seen those ads, you know, from the past. You want to be a drummer, you want to get girls, just buy our drum set or whatever. You can learn drums in no time. Anybody can be a drummer, you know, that type of thing. The reason that's going around is because of money, you know. People trying to make money off you, off your dreams, but they're going about it in a way that's deceitful. Because why? Because drums is one of the hardest things there is. You know, it's so hard to get really good. You have to understand music, and you have to understand rhythm at a very deep level, and structure and musical composition and all that stuff. I mean, it's not easy at all, you know. So the way to sell is to make you think that it's super easy. The barrier to entries is so easy. Just, you know, sit down, play a couple of beats, suddenly you're a drummer. That you can sell that, you know, to anybody, but you can't sell you know, play an 8-bar structure and make the tension and release end and start at the right place, and use microdynamics and use, you know, musical skills to mark each section. You know, that's harder to sell. Okay, so with that in mind, what I suggest is be very careful of falling into the trap of being a drummer. Okay, you have to always think about being a musician. Now, if you think this way, you'll see that your life changes in drumming, because what starts to happen is you put your time into acquiring skills that are marketable in the real world. You know, you want to play, you got to understand. Okay, let's do a metaphor here. We've got the field. We might as well try to do something with this, even though there's no actual basis. We're gonna use the field as a metaphor. All right, so okay, you're gonna notice I'm changing fields because unfortunately there was some dork who interrupted my great analogy. And we're changing field. So doesn't matter. That's what happens in life sometimes. You get thrown a curveball and you gotta adapt and survive and change the playing field. Okay, change the playing field. What that means for me, maybe move to another country, maybe go to a town where they treat you better, where you're more recognized, where there's room to grow, where you feel happier. Mainly, there's nothing wrong with that. My general policy is, if there's a gig on the moon, then go to the moon and play. You know, don't just sit there and sulk in one location. All right, so we have the playing field. All right, the playing field, baby. We're gonna play ball, we're gonna play music. What are the stages? What are the stages in your career that relate to this? All right, I'm just gonna have some fun here. This is, I hope you guys know about baseball. This is the pitcher's mound. All right, the pitcher's mound is where the guy throws the ball, and that's like life. You know, the life comes, pitches all these things to you, what you're gonna do, all the careers you could have, what happens, you know, in your life. Are you gonna get married? Are you gonna, you know, the pitch of life. All right, so that's, in that direction goes the home plate. All right, this is the home plate. That's the pitching mound. Home plate is where you make your stand. All right, home is your passion for music and drumming. Okay, this is where you are gonna hit that ball that's coming in with all the skill and power and passion that you have. All right, so you hit the ball and you make it over to first. We have somebody in the audience there. First base here. Hey, there's no bases, they took them out. But anyway, here's first base. You made it to first base. All right, what do you get when you get to first base? Maybe you bought your first drum set, bought all your cymbals, you start taking lessons, you start learning about, you know, drums, everything you need to know, taking lessons, learning about your hand technique, coordination, all the basic things you need to get started as a drummer in drumming. Okay, then you have second base. From first base you go to second base. All right, second base is, maybe you start playing in the band. Wow, you start getting some gigs with friends, you get a taste of what it's like to be a musician. You're on second base, baby. You're starting to grow as a drummer, you're starting to get your name around. Wow, look at all the ways you've come from your home base, your passion for drumming, to first base, your first moves, all the way now to second base. And we're here, and we're gonna go to third base now. Third base, oh my God, what are the skills you need to acquire to get to third base? They're a lot different than the ones you need to get to first base. First base is low-hanging fruit, all the basics, right? Now, what's gonna happen is there's somebody guarding this base. They're not gonna want you to get on here, okay, because you're really close to scoring. All right. So the world is going to give you more paradiddles and more poodly fully flafflies to study and to waste your time on, because, you know, to achieve this dream of getting home, making a full circle in your career and playing some music is the biggest dream in the world. You're going to have a lot of obstacles. There's a guy over there on the home base also who's going to want to stop you. All the cultural things you have to get over, all your parents and your friends that don't want you to succeed, and even the pitfalls of being a musician themselves, you know, the cost of living and how hard it is to make connections and get out there and play. Home plate is right there, man. You need somebody to come in and hit that ball for you. Maybe a music producer, somebody who sees you, you know, other musicians come in, they hire you to play, right? And what are the skills you need to achieve that? You know, first you need a great network. You need to have your network together, your personality skills, let's say, your networking skills, and of course your drumming skills at this point on third base, man. They got to be spot on. You can't be wasting time with things you don't need. You got to be a musician at this point. All right, you got to be fully submersed in music and things of musical value so that you can make it this far even. All right, what are the things that you need, like, to know about music composition, musical structure? You need to know about rhythm. Most of all, for drummers, nobody talks about rhythm. It's so baffling to me, you know. So anyway, here we are on third base, man. We're waiting to get home. Somebody hits that ball for you. On the way, there's a catcher there. He's waiting for you. He wants to get you out of there, man. He, on the third base guy, he also wants to get you out of there. Everything on the field is against you. You're scoring, right? So you got to have your skills up, man. You can't be wasting time with things that are non-musical, that you will never use in music. You got to run with all your power and passion, and you got to make it to home base when you score. Okay, now this last thing is a spiritual journey. Okay, more than anything, that is being an apprentice to second base. It's getting your name out there. Third base is where you need everything in your power to make it back home to your passion, to your drumming skills. This is a spiritual journey. Why? Because it's the hardest part of all. Getting to home, getting back to your passion and making it real, making it explode with expression. The pitcher is going to keep pitching you things. Life is going to be pitching you things. Buy this car, get in debt, don't listen to that guy, buy this new shiny thing, or do these incredible double bass drum exercises, and waste your time with more things that are flashy and that, you know, people are going to go wow with. But then the guys that actually know how to play music, they're not going to care about that because they need other things. But the flashy part, you know, is there. So because we want you to buy books and to buy this new method and buy this other thing that's completely a waste of time. Why? Because that's how they want you, in this circle of buying instead of producing, instead of creating. You know, that's how society kind of works, you know, with money and capitalism and things that push economies. So you know, as a spiritual kind of artist, which is art, being an artist and being in the spiritual realm of connection and making beautiful things, I think it's one and the same. You know, you can't separate yourself from that part of being a musician. Some people have managed successfully, you know, and produce absolutely crap music, and but is that really where you want to be? I've heard of, you know, big stars being totally miserable because music doesn't give them what they ultimately need after they become famous. I can tell you stories, man. It's like, wow. So you know, the conclusion is you have to be very aware of what you want out of drumming, and you need somebody perhaps to guide you, somebody who's been on that road before, a coach, you know, a manager, whatever it is you want to call it, so that your game is on and that you're not on the benches. Okay, we saw the analogy of the fields, first base, second base, getting all around the field, pitch, home, all that stuff. Here are the benches, baby. This is the bench where you never play. You don't get to play. You don't get to play because you know, this actually is spectators, but this is the bench. All right, you're in a cage. You don't know rhythm, so your vocabulary can never go anywhere. You're trapped in this pit of binary language, in this pit of despair of not being able to grow as a musician because you're stuck learning endless baloney things. Let's get out of there. It's depressing. All right, we're free now. There's the mountains and the sky. It's so beautiful. We're free. We're playing. We're out in the field. We surpassed the field. We're past the field. We got off the field. Now we're in the middle of nature. We're living, and we're free of any field, and we can express ourselves on a much higher level and be our own voice. We have our own voice. We're no longer trapped in some kind of field where there's this game. You know, there's a self-expression that transcends life, that transcends this physical realm, this skin, this meat that we are. We're free. That's what drumming can do for us. When you have your own voice, when you realize where you are, what you can do with drumming, with rhythm, with music, you transcend all that stuff, man, and you're at peace in the world. You can have a nice walk in life. And even if you're not a millionaire, which most musicians are probably not, you can be happy because you've accomplished the great thing that not everybody, I mean, the great majority of people don't get to do. You know, this is the big dream, being a musician, the dream of so many people, to get to do what you love. You know, that's like, wow. The ultimate. Of course, there's a price to pay, you know, but once you get through it, it's absolutely amazing. I'm not a millionaire. I don't care, you know, but I do care about drumming and about you who want to take this journey. Anybody that wants to take the journey is an amazing human being, in my opinion, because you're brave, you have the balls, you know. That's a huge accomplishment, to have the balls, you know, to pursue this dream. It's not like a dream. I wouldn't say it's a dream, it's a craft, you know. It's a definite possibility. It's a physical manifestation of your calling, you know, of your energy, of your mental power, of your concentration, discipline. Yeah. It's hard to get all you know, emotional and fuzzy wuzzy woo woo stuff on you, but that's a big part of being a musician. The shaman part of being a musician is so important. It's something that gets ignored completely. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you'll check out the lesson site, learn what the pros know. There's a big difference in that chasm of information, of things you need to know and things that waste your time. That's why I always say, learn what the pros know. You know, the pros know a whole lot of different things. So anyway, thank you for watching, and